it's Misty here, design team member for Stamp Anything. Welcome to another episode of Fannie Friday. Thank you so much for joining me today. I apologize for not being here last week, but last week was just one of those weeks culminating in me showing up for a procedure at 6:45 in the morning and them going, oops, the doctor's office was supposed to call you to reschedule. Thanks for that. So last week was for the birds. This week has been a little bit better, and I'm excited for that because I have a really fun and different take on this month's release. So if you missed it at the first of the month, I posted the July sneak peeks. That release is live, and it's all about westerns and cowboys, and we have a saloon girl, we have a wanted poster, we have all of the things, and we have this really fun stencil. And I'm not kidding you guys, the minute I saw this, I was like, I want to do spotlight stenciling. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, I'm calling it spotlight stenciling. You guys may call it something else. I don't know. But anywho, if you're interested in any or part of this release, be sure to check out Stamp Club. All of that information is linked down below, along with all the supplies that I use today, social media, etc. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. We're getting super close to 700. Once we get there, I will be hosting a giveaway here on the channel. So I'm going to walk you through how I made a really fun party invitation. So yeah. All right, let's head over to the craft table and I'll walk you through this fun and really kind of simple but impactful card. Okay, friends, so I am calling this spotlight stenciling because I am going to make sure that I am only stenciling one shape at a time. So I've adhered some washi tape to the back of the stencil. So the sticky part is at the top and the smooth part is against the paper, and that's because I didn't want the washi sticking to the paper and pulling apart or pulling away. So I'm calling this spotlight stenciling because I'm just using one of the shapes at a time. So this is just a sponge dauber and some gray ink. I will have all the supplies listed down below per usual. And I really like how this turned out. So I wasn't interested in using the cactus because I wanted to make like a cow person or cowboy western Toy Story themed party invitation. You're like, Missy, this is a lot of work for an invitation. If you have a colored scanner and you have a colored printer, you could absolutely scan one of these backgrounds and then print out to infinity and beyond. So you could absolutely 100% get that done. Completely up to you. But this could also be like a one-off. It could also be a card and not an invitation. But I am going to keep this kind of one-sided and not worry about adding it onto a card base. So if I were thinking ahead, I would have used purple because purple is my favorite color. But I know I've seen pink boots. And of course, with the new Barbie movie, everybody's sharing pink looks and pink clothes. So did I have a Barbie? A Western Barbie? I want to say I had a horse, but I don't remember if I honestly can't remember. I only had a few Barbies. I was more into baby dolls. So as you can see there, I did get some ink, pink ink on the paper, and I'm going to share with you later how I'm going to fix that. So I did silver for the stars so I could do brown for the hats because I didn't want to try to make it look gold, and I much prefer silver over gold anyway, and gray over brown any day. So yeah, and I could have made this a lighter color because it's summer, and technically in summer you wear a straw hat and you save the felt for fall and winter, but it's not quite that deep. I mean, I guess it could be, but it's not quite that deep. And I kind of get too many hats in one spot, but it's all okay. It's all going to be good because we're going to cover some of this up. I'm going to fix my mistakes, and I'm going to share with you how I do that. So again, it's just such a fun stencil. It's such a fun release. I love all of the images. My next card, if it turns out the way it is in my head right now, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be so good. So make sure you come back here next Friday to check it out. And if you haven't already, be sure you check out the Facebook group. There's a ton of inspiration. They are back to shipping because they were closed because they went to Duluth not Oregon, Misty, Georgia last week for a show. So I'm going to be using the word builder die, but first I want to share with you, I have one of these white paint pens from Amazon. It's not the Posca pen, it's just an off-brand white one. So I was using the die to decide where my sentiment was going to go, that I wouldn't have to cover that up, and then I used the white paint pen on the other two spots. So I am cutting out some glitter paper, some silver glitter paper, and I'm adhering this to some adhesive sheets. And normally I don't have an issue with this, but I was using the Lawn Fawn adhesive sheets, and I don't know what those are made out of, but I could not get this silver paper to cut correctly. So 10 out of 10 do not recommend the Lawn Fawn adhesive sheets, but you can find adhesive sheets, double-sided adhesive sheets on Amazon, Sizzix, etc. But yeah, the Lawn Fawn ones are too thick, and I just wasn't able to make a go of it. So initially I was going to put a silver sheriff's star onto the word builder die, but then I decided to go in a different direction. So I like to do outlines like this. I like to make it look like it's offset and it has a drop shadow. Initially, I thought I was going to use 2 of them, and then I decided I was like, Missy, just cut it in half. So that is what I did. So I added some adhesive on the back of this, cut it, and then cut the other one in half. And I'm just kind of offsetting it that way. So it looks like it has a border, but it's still the same exact die. And it doesn't quite line up, mostly because I am crooked and didn't make sure it was 100% straight, but I got it as close as I could. And I decided to cut out the word howdy from some of this paper from the Farm Life collection. This kind of pink and white gingham I thought was perfect. And this is when I brought in my tried and true adhesive paper. I was like, no, I'm not using that other stuff ever again in my life. So just adding some of that, and then I'm going to tape the word die down with some washi tape. And I just love doing this. Mostly I do this when the words or the letters are small or the die cuts are small, but also sometimes when I just don't want to make a mess and I know that I'm going to make a mess, I will do it that way as well. And here's my gigantic pile of leftover glitter paper. And I was like, you know what? I think I have a hot pink, and I think a hot pink star would be so much fun. And I was right. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. So I'm just adhering that down with some regular adhesive. And the other thing about these adhesive sheets is that adhesive is strong, and you need something strong to adhere to the glitter paper because the glitter paper has a lot of texture. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up this word die onto some pop dots, and we're going to get this adhered to the card. I forgot to show that I adhered down the stars. Sorry about that. Okay, so for the indentation, I am working in silhouette. I like to do this here because I can draw boxes and kind of size things, etc. So it says Howdy Cowpoke, and I thought that would work better than this will allow for non-binary kiddos, adults, or whatever. So it's not cowgirls or cowboys, it's just a cowpoke. And it says you're invited, and then what, Misty's big day, and then where, and who, blah, blah, blah. I just made up some stuff, and I used American typewriter, I think, for the font for the rest of it to kind of look like, it's not as cool as the font that Anne used for the die, for the howdy part of it, but I still think it worked out pretty okay. And this is just me fiddling around with it in Silhouette. Silhouette software is absolutely free. You do not have to have a machine to work with it. A lot of times, like I said, I like to go in, I draw my boxes, I bring in my images or bring in my text. That way I can see how it's going to look, if it's going to fit, etc. But I am going to share with you how you can print this without having the machine. Now, I get all of this done, and I get this on the card. And my husband goes, you need to change something. Now, if you didn't know, my husband, Rob, is a professional proofreader. He proofreads documents all day, every day for a living. And normally I would have him look at something, but I was like, this isn't real. It's not like this is going to go out to people. And I said, no. He's like, no, you need to change something. And I said, no, I'm not going to change anything. And he said, you need to change please from the RSVP. He said, that's redundant. And I was like, well, now I know for future reference, and you guys now know for future reference that you don't need to put please in front of RSVP because it's redundant, apparently. I had no idea. So I just zoomed in on the file, did a screenshot, and then printed the screenshot, and I put 4 per page, and I'm just cutting them down with my paper trimmer. And I just used regular copy paper for this, and then I got it adhered, and then that was it. So like I said, if you have a color scanner and a color printer, you could do this and then scan it and print it. And you can do that like really with anything. I've done this lots of times. Like if I've spent a lot of time coloring something and I am worried I'm going to screw it up, I will come scan it and then go on about my life. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I really do appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next Friday for another video. Bye for now.